Two vibrant congregations recently came together to eulogize a popular community activist in Southeast Washington.
We have come to celebrate a life, to celebrate the life of our brother Philip Joseph, affectionately known as Mike Savoy. We have come as believers, trusting in Jesus.
Let me say good evening to everyone.
44-year-old Philip Michael Savoy had died suddenly, leaving poor people, crime victims, the unemployed, and his own close-knit family to mourn his loss.
He didn't appear to be sick. I noticed he's been tarred a lot because I thought that all of that tiredness came from all the activities that he were involved in. And I would always tell him, Mike, you need to take a rest. You know, you're going too much. I mean, 7 days a week is a lot.
It was not your typical Washington funeral. Savoy never held a major public office, and yet all of the city's top elected officials turned out for a 4-hour tribute to Philip Michael Savoy.
And he came to bed that night. He was very quiet, and they laughed and they talked and carried on. And I heard something in the middle of the night. He just went, I heard him go, "Ah!"
Philip Mike Savoy wasn't snatched away in the prime of his life by the notorious and violent streets that have claimed so many other lives. The 44-year-old father of 3, grandfather of 2, and husband was killed by an even more potent assailant. It's called heart disease. You see, cardiovascular diseases last year alone in this country killed more than 950,000 Americans. That's more than homicides, car crashes, AIDS, cancer, all other forms of death combined. And get this area leads the country in cardiovascular deaths.
Can you send an ambulance right away for a heart attack, please?
Emergency ambulance. I have a lady who had a heart attack.
Coronary disease can strike almost any age group. We see people with some frequency even in their 30s, and occasionally we'll take people to the laboratory who are in their 80s.
Heart disease is by far and away the major killer of women. 6 times as many women die of heart attacks in this country every year as breast cancer.
I always say that atherosclerosis of the heart is like the plague of the 20th century. We all seem to get it and we don't know why.
Maybe, just maybe, Mike Savoy and countless others did not have to die. The experts say the death rates from heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular diseases can be brought down if only individuals will take the proper steps to lower their blood pressure, stop smoking, reduce the amount of cholesterol in the blood, reduce stress, and know the warning signs of a heart attack.
Fortunately, we've got a lot that we can do for people with coronary heart disease, and that's why you see so much activity at a major heart center like this one.
Left heart pressure.
Advances in medical treatment and healthier lifestyles have proven to save lives.
And we found that there is a blockage in the right coronary artery, and we're going to press it open with a balloon.
No pressure, man. Sorry about that.
Children of parents with cardiovascular disease are more likely to develop the disease themselves.
We are socialized to believe that we have to rescue the damsel in distress.
Steve Sobelman is a psychology professor at Loyola College in Baltimore. His father has heart disease.
My wife and daughter had gone out for a few minutes, and I just was sitting on the edge of my bed, and all of a sudden, this incredible pain in my left arm, incredible pain in my left shoulder. The pain in my left arm felt as though there was a vice on it or a blood pressure cuff that somebody had just pumped up and just never released. I felt nauseated. I started sweating profusely, and I told myself, I think this is a heart attack.
After getting to a hospital, the 47-year-old Sobelman suffered a second massive attack that could have been fatal anywhere else. Bypass surgery helped save his life.
Or the familiar term that they use for that kind of blockage is the widowmaker, because in many, many cases, the patient just dies. In other words, if I had had this heart attack at the ball game the night before, I would have been dead. If I had had it at home, the surgeon and the cardiologist said I was so blocked that they weren't sure that someone could get to me, and or there might not be permanent heart damage.
Someone dies from cardiovascular disease every 34 seconds. Studies show that far more blacks are dying from heart attack, stroke, and the like than whites.
When they're having the symptoms of heart attack, they don't recognize it as such. And of course, if they don't recognize it, they're not going to do anything about it. And as a result, they end up dying. Access to healthcare facility seems to be the problem. Even when they get to the healthcare facility, for some reason they tend to die. Probably, as physicians, we're not programmed to think of heart attacks occurring in blacks. As a matter of fact, when I was going to medical school, I was taught that heart attack was rare in black.
Philip and Donald Savoy brought the packed Union Temple Church to its feet when they bravely spoke of their father's life. It's how Philip Mike Savoy died that the sons must now also remember.
This situation happened to my father. I made an arrangement to see a physical. And me being who I am, when I got to the doctor, I found an excuse to leave. And I left. But I have to work through that, and I have to make another appointment because, I get the next time to go in and see him. My father never got the second chance to go back.
July 2nd, 1992. It's a date I'll always remember because that's the date I had my heart attack, right here on Stanton Road, about a half a block off of Alabama Avenue in Southeast. We'll have more on that tomorrow. This is Bruce Johnson.